Hello and welcome to Wine with Weeda, the podcast that is dedicated to engaging with health professionals and caregivers in meaningful discussions. I'm your host, Rita Shamoon, or as my clients call me, Weeda. I'm a pediatric speech pathologist and I am so excited to have you here. Each week, we deep dive into connecting you with caregivers and healthcare professionals, sharing their insights, stories, and key takeaways to help you with your child's diagnosis and your journey. Whether you are a parent, healthcare professional, a lifetime learner, or simply a wine enthusiast, you're in the right place. So let's sit back and relax and enjoy today's episode. Welcome back to Wine with Weeda, where we sit, connect, and share stories that make us feel less alone. Today's episode is really special. We're talking about sisterhood, the bond that shapes us, supports us, and evolves through different seasons of life. I'm joined by Valinda, a mum raising two beautiful boys with additional needs, and her big sister, Anita, who has stood beside her through it all as a sister, an auntie, and a constant source of support. Today, we'll explore motherhood, sisterhood, cultural expectations, and what it means to walk beside someone you love through a journey you never expected. Welcome to Wine with Weeda, Valinda, and Anita.
Hi, good to be here.
Hi. Thanks for having
Thank you.
us.
Yes.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for giving me your time. You both know how important Wine with Weeda is to me. And Valinda, as a mother who has two boys on the spectrum, or one boy on the spectrum, one with additional needs, you know the importance of community. You know the value of being heard, and you also know the value of walking alongside someone who can guide you with no expectations and no pressure. You just simply have to be. Myself, I have a sister, and my mum personally, she experienced 5 miscarriages after me. And so, as a big sister myself, I was alone for quite some time till I was about 9 years of age. And then God gifted us with my beautiful sister, who has been the best gift to me as a mum, as a sister. She's the best auntie. So, I completely understand how this story may bring up some emotions today. Because we say we love our sisters. Yeah. We say I love our sisters, but I think for myself, I show love through my actions, not through my words. So I feel like today, through our words, we just want all the women out there to say thank you to their sisters or to a woman who's like a sister and to share their story. So I'll start off with you, Valinda. Can you please share your story about your two sons?
Yes, so I've got two little ones. I've got Teddy and Archie, or Theodore, but affectionately known as Teddy. So we'll call him Teddy throughout this episode. So Teddy and Archie, Teddy is 8 years old, and Archie will be 6 in 2 days. So that's
that's
really
right.
quickly. So Teddy has been diagnosed or was diagnosed when he was 2 years old with ASD level 2. And then Archie most recently diagnosed with ADHD. So they're my two little neurodivergent little boys, completely different from one another, as you'd know, Rita, as well.
Very.
So, just really trying to navigate through being able to support them through their additional needs there, and just getting them the support that they really need and deserve, and all kids deserve the help and support.
Absolutely.
Well. Yeah.
How old was Teddy when he was diagnosed?
Teddy was just under 2. And I had
Archie was just born? Yeah.
I just found out that I was pregnant with Archie. So not long before that, maybe a month or 2 before that. So that was quite challenging to go through. It was quite the emotional roller coaster of having to navigate that diagnosis whilst being pregnant with Archie, and just trying to figure out what to do. It was something completely foreign to me. It wasn't something that had been I guess, in the family that we know of, or my family or my friends. So it was really new to us. We had no idea what to do, where to look. We were quite shell shocked when we got the diagnosis, but not really, because we sort of knew deep in our hearts that there was something different about Teddy. It was quite the roller coaster. It was emotionally heavy, but we got through it together, with me and my husband and also my family. And it was quite the process. Finding out that he was going to lead a different life, or a life that we didn't know how he was going to live. And I guess it was a lot of grief in that process as well, finding that out, trying to understand what his life was going to be like, grieving the life that we thought that he was going to have. But then I guess on the other end, going through all of that and realizing that we were grieving that life that we thought he was going to have, but then understanding that all kids, you imagine this life for them, regardless of a diagnosis or not. You don't know how things are going to turn out. So it's just being in control of what you can be in control of and moving forward from there.
Thank you for sharing that. That's the first time I've heard that from you, Valinda, because you were such a mission forward person trying to get things done, finding the right services, and you're on top of everything. So I can only imagine the weight of his diagnosis amongst morning sickness and fatigue as well, and being the strong person in your family household. That would have been very hard for you to manage. Now, Anita, when you found out about Teddy's diagnosis and the depths of Valinda's emotions, when did you come into the picture to support her?
From the very beginning. I feel like
Yeah.
I was thinking back, and by the way, there's going to be lots of tears here today. So
Yeah.
when she was doing this, she was trying to not cry.
There's no fly in the room, guys. Where's the Mortine?
We do.
It's tears, guys. It's tears.
I think thinking about this again at the very beginning, when my sister told me, again, I was in shock. And I think she was the one that was consoling me, because I think she had a little bit of time to digest, but then also understand what it meant. Whereas I was like, oh, what does this mean for her? What does this mean for my nephew? Because he was the first nephew in the family as well. And, he's quirky, but we just thought that's just Teddy. That's just how he is. And then, I actually read the report that she had received in detail. And like herself, I deep dived into what this world looks like, and what life could possibly look like for Teddy. And so that really opened up an entire new world of resources, and really being grateful and blessed that we are living in the country in Australia, where we do have access to resources and have access to help and support. So that, it's really grateful. And to see from when he got diagnosed at 2 to where he is now, at 8 years old, it's been a ride. But he's just the most beautiful kid. But been there from the very beginning.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that we're very lucky to be living here in Australia, because we have access to resources, not only from a service-based perspective, but from a funding perspective, because a lot of families, it's the financial load to accessing all the right services is huge. And
100%.
I'm very grateful for NDIS for that. Yes, it is. Yes, it's exhausting. Yes, it's sometimes really challenging to manage, but it's a true blessing to be living here in Australia. So thank you for mentioning that. As I mentioned earlier, my acts of love or love language is acts of service. I find it hard to console through words, because sometimes I feel like that doesn't get the message across. Anita, how did you confirm to Valinda, to give some listeners some insight to what she felt she needed at that time to help her through the initial diagnosis stage?
I think very similarly to you, we don't really use our words a lot either.
Yeah.
We
Is it a cultural thing, you think?
I think so, and I don't
What's
think
your
we're
background, guys?
engaged.
You're not Vietnamese. What's your background?
We're Laos. Laos.
Laos.
Yes.
Laos. Okay, so
Laos.
I'm Lebanese. And so
Yeah.
emotions are like forbidden in
Yeah.
our culture. Any emotion is a sign of weakness. And you get that look of toughen up, right? Like women don't cry or men don't cry image. Yeah. So I'm assuming it's very similar to your
It's
culture too.
It's similar, and I think it's just we don't really talk about how we feel or talk about what we need, sort of and it's very big in our family that we do a lot of that. So, we show our love like yourself through acts of service, and that might be turning up to your house and just being there. And then, I don't
Yeah.
know, helping with washing the dishes or like making a sandwich or whatever it is. It's just small things, and definitely centers around food around our families. Like first we
Yes.
walk through the door, that's the way
All
it
about
goes.
food.
Have you eaten? There's food in the fridge, or there's this and that. So that's how we show our love for each other. And I think, like with my sister, that it was just being there physically with her, and also asking. And I guess we are from a different generation as well, and we through the kids I've learned as well, we're trying to communicate better because we're trying to teach the kids to communicate better and use their words. So we have to then use our words as well. But it's taken some time to try to, because it's still foreign, right? It's not,
Mm.
not second nature to us at all. But just trying to be there physically with her and asking the questions and just, babysitting the kids or just being around the kids, not necessarily because she needs me to, but because I want to, and at least and she will know that there is another person there as well. She doesn't need to ask me to be there. It's just like I'm there like at least every week just to know
Yeah.
that there's an extra person there just to support as well.
Yeah. Valinda, there's this idea that sometimes if we ask for help, we're a burden to people. And naturally, we internalize our own emotions so we don't feel like we're too much for family. And we have this strong persona that we can do this, we've got this. At what point were you feeling comfortable to talk to Anita about your challenges for her to be more supportive for you in the moment?
Honestly, from the very beginning, I think me and my sister, we've got quite, we've got a good relationship in that way. I mean, it wasn't always like that. I mean, we've got a 4-year gap, and it was only when we became older is when we started to connect more. Through when we got married, and then when I started having kids. So when I started going through those milestones is when we developed a
Yeah.
closeness there. So right from the beginning, like I shared the report with her, like she
Was it a
said,
pediatrician report or the speech path report?
it was the psychologist report
Okay.
who did the diagnosis. So I sent that through to her. Like she said, I was the one pretty much consoling her in that moment because
And Anita's got the business
I had
mindset
time
reading
to
it.
digest what's happened and what our actions were going to be sort of moving forward. And that was just communicating that through to her. There as well. So from the outset, I told her, this is what I need from you. I don't need you take the time that you need, because she did need a little bit of time once I gave her that report just to sort of process, which I totally respected. Then she came back to me and asked me, what do I need? What can I do for you? So right from the beginning, she's been there. And all I needed from her was just to be there for me. I didn't need advice, because I will find solutions. Like that's just my type A personality. I will go and get shit done. Sorry, can I swear on
Yeah.
this one?
No, that's okay. We can swear on Weeda. It's all right.
I will get things done.
Weeda's words.
Oh,
What was the
No. So yeah, look, I will always find a way to get things done. So she knew that. So it's really just being there for me when I needed her, to vent, to talk things through, to help also manage my parents' expectations and what I needed from them. Because, look, I think culturally, look, we are quite lucky. My parents are quite progressive. Not your typical Asian families that, hide everything. My mum's very open. She wants us to be open and to talk. But in some moments I just didn't want to talk. I've already done all the talking. I've been trying to speak to therapists. I've been trying to find the help for him. So in those moments I didn't want to talk. So that's when my sister came in, and she was, that mediator between us. So she could sort of control that narrative for me as well. So yeah.
Let's talk about the cultural expectations that you experience, Valinda. Now, in my clinic space, many families feel like ASD or even communication disorders, they're invisible, right? Because the child doesn't physically present with significant challenges or even differences to other children. There's this misconception that there's nothing wrong with the child. It's probably just a little issue rather than a larger issue. And the clients that I've worked with, a lot of the families will say, don't worry about it. Your uncle had that. Don't worry about it. What does the speech pathologist know? Or what do those health professionals know? They just want to take your money. And you hear all these comments where sometimes you think, is there truth to that? I've looked up to these people my whole life, and they're saying something where you're like, is it true? Or do I really have to ignore that noise and focus on what is best for my child right now and take the advice from the health professionals? How did both of you navigate that? Or what were the stigmas presented to you? And then how did you both navigate that?
Yeah, look, I think exactly that. It's almost like, oh, but he doesn't do this or he doesn't do that. And I know somebody else who has autism, but they do this, and they'll just that comparison. And I said, I understand that, but it's a spectrum. So everyone's different. So not everyone's going to present the same. What you know of autism is not what, Teddy is presenting in autism. So, one person with autism, that means you only know one person with autism.
Yeah.
Don't know everybody with autism. So that was sort of the explanations that we had to give at the beginning. But I guess for myself, I mean, I've always been the one in the family to push the boundaries a little bit in terms of what whatever I think. I mean, I think I'm very strong-willed in my opinions. And nothing will change that in terms of, if they question that, I'll be like, that's fine, you can have your opinion, but I'm still doing it my way. So you can either get on board or not, and I'm okay with that. So I think that was,
and I love that. That's something worth celebrating, because you're showing your boys as well that
in disguise to have that personality trait. I think especially to be able to advocate for my children in that moment, because I completely get it, because pressure from families in that moment, you will question yourself, like, am I doing the right thing? Do I know what I'm talking about? Am I seeking the right help? But I think because I was so confident in myself and confident in the research that had been done and what I'd looked up and what I needed for him moving forward, nothing else mattered, to be completely honest. Yeah.
That's wonderful. How about you, Anita?
I think, like, just to add on to, I don't call my sister Valinda, so it sounds really weird when I say, to add on to Valinda's points, if I ever
It's not a Zoom meeting, guys. It's okay.
if I ever say Gok, it means it's referring to Valinda, because that's her nickname. Yeah, G-O-K.
Valinda, that's what I'm calling you now. Hey, Gok.
So it sounds weird if I call her by a full name. I only do that when she's in trouble. But just adding to what she's saying, I guess I see it from like the family side as well, right? Like saying, yes, my parents were, and to their credit, they are quite progressive and they are actually quite accepting, especially when, and again, to my sister's credit, because she's so strong-willed, she's like, this is how I'm raising my kids, and this is, if you're going to be around and be with them, I need you to, stick to my boundaries and stick to my rules, because I'm raising the kids like you raised me, and I'm grateful for that, but this is how I want to raise my kids. And because we're raising kids in a entirely different generation than when my parents were raising us as well. At first they were like, oh, are you sure this is the right diagnosis? Like he's just going through a phase or whatever it is, And then they they were able to accept it actually quite early on, once they actually understood what it meant. And we were very lucky in that our parents were quite open to that, and were open to listening to what my sister had to say and explaining it to them. But we did have to sit them down. I remember very clearly my sister and her husband sat down at the kitchen table with my mum and my dad, and I was there to really as a mediator because we didn't know how it was going to go. Um, and it was really Lawrence Lolly really doing a lot of the talking, explaining to them what the diagnosis meant and what it could mean going forward, and what the next steps would be, And I still remember my dad saying, "It doesn't change anything for me. Like,
Yeah.
he's still my grandson, and I still love him. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't change anything." Because, and that's, when you think about it, it's also quite beautiful, right? Because it doesn't matter to him, whatever it is. He'll just be there to
Yeah.
support, which is really good, I think, for us when we think about how we were raised and how our parents were or are. It made it a lot easier for things, when things happen, or when my sister needed to say, well, this is how we need to do things, and they will just adapt. So it's been really good like that. They weren't just like, oh no, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, they didn't stick their beliefs down our throats. Like, they were willing to be like, okay, we'll listen to you because we haven't experienced this.
Yeah.
But in saying that, now my mum recognizes other family members who do have autistic children, and can see and recognize, that as well. So for her, they're also growing as well. So
Yeah.
it's actually been a really, really interesting journey for the whole family.
The way I see it, it's like it's the first for you, Valinda, to hear the news of your son's diagnosis, but it's also the first moment your parents will be hearing that kind of information. And it's interesting, if it was, say, one of you guys having a diagnosis, how would they have processed it? How would they have dealt with it? But what is so beautiful in the moment is that no matter what the concerns are, we're here to support. We're here to
Mm,
provide that community. We're here to be together as a family to guide you with whatever you need. And I always say this time and time again, community is more important than even starting therapy. Therapy can wait. You need community to get you by, because every day it's like you're trying to take out the fires, or is it blow out the fires, because
mm,
with a child with a disability, you just don't know sometimes what's going to happen next.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now let's get to the deep stuff what I really want to talk about, sisterhood. The listeners now have a great in-depth insight into you guys. Sisterhood is so special. Yes, there's a spoken love through blood and surname and so forth, but there's this unspoken love that you're always there for each other through thick and thin. How has sisterhood changed since Teddy was diagnosed?
You want to go first, Cook, or you want me to
You can go.
Or even since the boys were diagnosed, not just Teddy, both boys.
So the question was, how did
How
our
has your
sister
sisterhood
change?
changed? Yeah. Or
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I think it definitely brought us closer together, 100% closer together. Like what Cock was saying, like when we were younger, we would fight constantly. My parents were always like, "Why are you fighting all the time? It's just you two." This was when we were kids, right? And we only really started bonding or getting close maybe towards the end of high school, I would say,
Yeah.
because we do have that 4-year gap. And I always found my sister very annoying
Yeah.
when we were younger
As we
as
all
well.
do.
As yeah, annoying younger sister, but also very strong-willed, which I don't have, which I'm glad she does. But when the boys were diagnosed, I think it's more like, how do you say this? I guess like, I don't want to say companionship, but along those lines, right? It's like it just strengthens the bond, because I know that my sister needs additional help, but it's not that I feel obligated to. It's because I want to be there for her, and I want her to know that she's not alone, and that she does have me there, and that yes, I am her older sister, and sometimes it does seem, I mean, a lot of the time she's probably looking after me than I am looking after her. Um, but I feel like it's definitely strengthened our bond, in the knowing that what we're doing or what we do is always for the kids, for the boys. Like since the boys were born even, it's like I will go over to my sister's place more than I go to my parents' place now.
Yeah.
Or like if my sister's not home, I'll call and say, oh, she's not home. Like, okay, that's okay, but are the boys home? So then I go visit the boys, so they become the center of our world, essentially. And they are the center of our world, or the purpose for our family. Like my parents absolutely love them. I feel like the boys definitely gave my parents a renewed sense of purpose in their life as well. Like as they're getting older as well, they're like, oh, they've got grandchildren to look after, to help, to help raise as well. And that is like the connecting piece, I think. And yeah, in short, it's definitely strengthened the bond of our sisterhood.
Valinda, do you echo what Anita said?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's just an unspoken rule, not rule, but unspoken thing of saying, I've got you. Regardless of anything that happens, I've got you. With the diagnosis, with Teddy, with Archie. I mean, with Archie, that was only recent, and I think that was a lot easier to process.
Absolutely.
I think only because we went through the diagnosis with Teddy with autism, and then it was ADHD there with Archie, and it was really a reassurance from my sister to really strengthen that sisterhood, to be like, I've got you no matter what do you need, how can I help, I'm here for you. Not necessarily in those words, but she'll do that by being here all the time, wanting to visit the kids, putting her hand up to, do school pickups once a week, just to help
And
out.
that's a massive relief. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Like I work full time. My husband works full time. We've got so many things going on. And
soccer mums.
Soccer mum, yes. Yeah, we're a soccer family now, so that wasn't on our bingo card this year. But yeah, coaching our under-6 soccer team, which is fun. My husband's doing the under-9 soccer team. And my sister's managing one of the teams. So, we're all involved. So, just her doing these things, it's not the big things. It's really these little moments of every day that she'll just check in. She'll call. Today she called when she knew I was driving the kids home from school, just to check in, to say, hey, how's everyone going? Saying hi to the boys, saying that she missed them, even though it's only been 2 days since she's seen them. And they've made that very clear to her, saying, Auntie Nita, it's only been 48 hours. You can survive without seeing us for 48 hours. So just checking in, just those little moments really count. And I think strengthens our sisterhood.
Yeah. I'm really loving this conversation because it keeps repeating the notion of just simply showing up. And for family members listening, or even an auntie listening, or a best friend listening, and you're not sure what to do when your friend's child's going through uncertain times or a diagnosis, just show up. Show up, and sometimes don't even talk, as what you said, Valinda. I don't want to talk. Just be there to listen. Listen with no expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. Sitting in silence, being able to sit in that uncomfortable sort of silence and knowing not to say anything it is golden. Like it's just, I know you're there, and I'm just sitting there lying down on the couch, my spot that I like to lie down, my spot, and she's on the other side and she's watching a TV or scrolling her phone, but I know she's
That's
there.
enough. Yeah,
if I need anything, but often we don't say anything to each other. The presence is there, and that's enough.
Yeah.
Oh, this is beautiful, guys. It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Now, how did you navigate extended family or community about disability and caregiving? Now, you've spoken about parents. How about those Auntie Karens that always have something to say, or those Uncle Richards that give you that look, right? We've all been to those events that there's those family members. How did you guys navigate that?
Not subtly.
We don't do subtle very well.
No, definitely not. yeah, I think there's always going to be, you know, that one person or someone that will say something like, and I don't think they mean it maliciously. I just don't
Mm.
think that they quite understand why they're behaving the way they do. And it's not so much about putting them in their place. So it's more about, listen, like, you don't actually understand why he's doing that. Like, that's, you know, his
Yeah,
behavior, and it's because of that.
it's
And
yeah.
yeah, go on.
Education. I think it's definitely education, and it's different
Mm,
generations, right? So it
mm,
was back in their generation, it wasn't something that was spoken about openly like it is today. So it's really about education. Um, and you know what? You will still get people who will still make those comments regardless of the education piece there. So it's about really setting your boundaries for yourself and advocating for your child. And sometimes distance is
Yes.
the answer, right? You can't please everyone, you can't educate everybody. And sometimes you just have to be like, you know what, that's fine. It sounds like a you problem now, and
Yeah.
it's not on you to solve everything. And once you can accept that, is when you'll feel the relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like learning that no is a boundary and
mm.
saying no is self care. It's a big
Mhm.
one, especially in like my particular case, being the big sister. I'm not sure if you're like this, Anita, that whole people pleasing element, being the
Mhm.
big daughter, the big eldest daughter, where we have to be kind to everyone and be courteous to everyone. But there comes a point where it's like, you know what? This is where I'm going to swear, Valinda. I just can't fucking do it anymore. I
Yeah.
can't people please. I'm going to say no for my own mental health. So imagine having the external judgment about your child because people are ignorant to not even understand actually what's going on.
And I think, you know, it's funny you say that, like, as yes, you're right, as the eldest child, we do have people pleasing tendencies,
Mm.
you know, wanting to make everyone comfortable and happy. But for me, I felt like when it came to the boys, I was like, don't fuck around with them. Like, I
Like
was,
you're like warrior.
oh yeah, I was like ready to protect, you know? Yeah, 100% I was. I'm like, I don't care who you are, I don't care if you're unhappy. Like, you're not saying this about my nephews. You're not getting away with this, you know, with my nephews. And it's just, it's like this fierce protection thing. And I think it's because, like, growing up, I felt that with my sister, and
Yeah.
I think with the boys it's heightened. Like, I'm very
Yeah.
protective of my sister. Like, if I was going to flip tables for anyone, it would be for my sister.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it for anyone else, you know. And I think that extends to the boys and my family. So when it's just, yeah, you don't, you don't stuff around with the family. You don't
Yeah.
mess with the family.
Belinda, how do you feel hearing what she just said then? Because for myself, my heart was just full of love because my own niece and nephew are like my own children. Stuff you, my sister, they're my babies too. Like they're mine just as much as they're yours. And if anyone were to cross their boundary or line, the lion in me will come out. So, how does that make you feel hearing those beautiful words from Anita?
Honestly, I she doesn't need to say it for me to know that that's how she feels. She really treats the boys like her own. Um, and I couldn't be more grateful that I've got a sister like her around to help me, not only with the kids, but with the kids with additional needs as well. Like, it's just, she doesn't know it, but she's, you know, saved my life in that way, just by being there and helping out. Like, me and my husband talk about it all the time. Like, without Nita, I don't know where we would be. Because she just comes and she just shows up, and she's got her own life to live, you know. She runs her own business and she's got her own stresses, but she always still manages to show up for the boys. And yeah, there's nothing that I could do to ever thank her enough for
Yeah.
that.
As you guys collect your tears and recoup back to normal conversation, I want to say how beautiful that comment was that she saved your life. And as a speech, I've never heard a mother say that before about a sibling. I never knew the depths of how much weight you were carrying, Valinda. And I feel as a speech pathologist, we have a wonderful rapport together. We banter, we joke, we really discuss the boys' development and goals. But on the other side, you're carrying this unspoken weight of heaviness that sometimes it's really hard for you to manage. And to know that you have Anita to have your back, it makes me proud to say that I'm working with you and I've worked with you, Anita. But for other therapists listening, never underestimate the depths of a parent's struggle just because they're laughing and having a joke. Never underestimate the weight that they're carrying because they've got their face together or they're showing they're put together. And this, again, goes back to showing up and simply just letting people be. And if you don't want to do therapy today, that's okay, but I'm here to listen. And Valinda, we've had those moments where therapy just blew up in our face, but we just connected over matcha. Can I just say, guys, I wasn't a matcha person until I met Valinda, and she made me this gorgeous strawberry matcha. And now, guess what I
It's
order
good,
every few
hey?
days, Valinda? Matcha.
Oh, good.
You've convinced me.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, but this is beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Now, Valinda, this might bring more tears. Is there any moment that you would like to thank Anita for, a particular moment that she has helped you when you needed her most?
Honestly, I can't pinpoint any given moment. It's really not one moment, like I said before. It's all the small moments that add up. Picking up the boys from school, babysitting them when I need a night out. Not even babysitting them, just coming over when I am home and doing all the things, reading them a story, brushing their teeth, making sure they're showered, just so that I can get a breather. You know, it means so much to me. And because in those moments, sometimes it can feel so much. And my sister knows. She knows when I'm at the end of my tether, and when she needs to step in because I am about to lose it. Not at them, but just physically. I need to scream. I need to do something because I just can't be around them anymore because they've just taken every ounce of me. I love
It's a
them.
lot. No, it's
Yeah,
a
I love
lot.
them so
It's
much,
their
but
emotions and their dysregulation. It's heavy.
yeah. Yeah, and then trying to manage your own emotions through their
Yeah.
emotional, dysregulation as well. So it's just really trying to, in those moments, it's a thankless job, really, being an auntie, isn't it? Because you're just sort of there showing up, and I don't expect it from her, but she does it. And I know she does it because she wants to, not because I've asked her or it was an expectation for her. Forever grateful. Everyone tells me all the time how lucky I am to have a sister like her, and I sing her praises all the time, and I'm just like, you don't know. You don't even know how grateful I am to have her in my life, because it's only us two. And yeah, so grateful, so thankful. Yeah.
So beautiful to hear. Now, Anita, what would you like Valinda to hear about how amazing she is? Because sometimes she won't process that, as I know. She just agrees, but she doesn't digest it. Please share what you think of Anita to make her feel better today.
I mean, my sister, as you would know, she's one of the strongest, people I know as well. And like you said, she carries so much. And I think being the bigger sister, like for me to feel like if I can lighten that load for her, then it's sort of like my job done, right?
Yeah.
But it's also fun. Like I get to hang out with the boys because I am the fun auntie, and I can be a fun auntie. I don't have kids of my own, but I've always been, very young at heart, very quite energetic, and I just love hanging with the boys. They're not going to be at this age forever, and there's going to be a time where they become teenagers and don't want to bar with me, So trying to embrace that as much as I can as well. But like my sister, she's just fucking amazing. Like to go through what she's been through, to come out on the other side, and she just comes out swinging all the time. Like she is literally the most strongest, most resilient person I know, but also the most kindest, and also the most self-aware, but also with compassion. Like she doesn't give fucks to people that don't matter. She really doesn't.
Yeah.
She's like, you know what, you do you, and I'm going to do me. But she's so steadfast in that, and I wish I could have some of those traits, like take some of the traits from her as well, because she's so strong in her beliefs, and that they may be right, they may be wrong, but I don't care. This is how I feel, and this is how I think. And if I'm wrong, well, then I'll fix it down the track or whatever it is, right? So the way that she navigates raising their boys, navigate family challenges, not only our family but the in-laws as well, on a
Yeah.
daily basis. Like it's tough, and I wouldn't say she's a patient person, but damn, she's patient.
It's like she knows which battles to fight. She's
Oh,
got that
100%.
self-awareness to know this isn't worth my energy because I know it's not going to serve me back anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think she's just grown from this annoying little shit sister that used to bite me and throw things at me. And,
The words are coming out now, Valinda.
I know.
like she was that sister, but to see her grow into this phenomenal woman, mother, wife, sister, daughter, cousin, friend, that she's to everyone, like people in her closest circle. She only keeps a tight circle, but man, they're so lucky to have her in their life, because she would do anything for her friends and her closest people around her as well. And the boys have no idea how lucky they are to have parents and have a mum like, my sister, and as well as her husband. Like they are forever trying to better themselves and be better people, be better parents for these boys. Like they have no idea how lucky they are. And for them to go through life experiencing what they get to experience, it's just amazing. And I just want to be a part of it. That's why I'm around. Like, like I want to be.
FOMO.
Yeah, the FOMO. I want to be
Come along
around.
for the ride.
Yeah, like my sister, like, I'm going to, when they went to Bali for the first overseas trip. Was it Bali? It was Bali. The first overseas trip, and she told me they're going. I'm like, I want to come. Like she didn't even invite me. I was just like, it's the first time on the plane. I want to be there.
No,
I want to
so
be part of
special.
their core memories. But yeah, my sister is. There's no one else out there like her. She's just. Oh, she's just had such a tough journey, and she's just come out so much stronger on the other side, and I'm so proud of her, and I know that she's only going to get better and better. And yeah, we don't say this enough, but I love you so much, and I'd do anything for you. Oh God.
We're better on text message, Rita.
We are.
Just all voice, short and sweet.
We are, but I don't want to leave this podcast out saying, I love you. I unconditionally, always there for you, always got your back, no matter what.
Yeah.
As well.
Thank you, both of you, for sharing such vulnerability on this podcast and to reinforce the idea of sisterhood and showing up throughout all challenges of life, happy and happy moments too. And I feel this conversation has reinforced unconditional love. There's no expectations, but simply being you and fighting for what you truly believe in, advocating for your kids, breaking down stigmas, and cultural expectations, but still simply showing that I'm here for you no matter what. And Anita, you've depicted that beautifully as the auntie that wants to be there for her nephews. But Valinda, you're such a hero with being that strong support for your boys to show them what they're worthy of and what they deserve despite their challenges and diagnosis, that they're not defined by their disability at all, but more their ability. And you conquer that through and through every day. And it's my greatest honor to help you and have helped you with your boys. Just a side note, I have 3 daughters, and just seeing
Oh,
you as older women, and the love that you have. Like, you're Anita, you remind me of my eldest Sophia, and Valinda, you remind me of my middle daughter, the rebel. And to know that this is a strong possibility that they will be so invested in their family, and that gives me, as a mum, such great comfort to know that what I've put in with them now, similarly to what your parents did to you, they invested so much to both of you, to know that unity, love, and community will always be there through and through. And I can't wait to have my own grandkids now. Get to see what my daughters
Don't
will
tell
be
them
like.
that, Rita. Jeez.
No, no, no. They need to leave. They're not staying here for a very long time. Like, once they're done, they need to move out. No, but thank you for really reinforcing that. And for listeners hearing this story, call your friend, call your sister, and just simply say, hey, I love you. I'm here for you. Let's grab a coffee, glass of wine, and just reminding each other how amazing they are. Because sometimes that one act of kindness can go much further than what we know.
yeah.
Absolutely. Just listen. Even a message, a check-in message, say, hey, how are you? Can go a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like to leave the listeners with any extra words of wisdom before we wrap up today?
That's a great question.
Do you want me to go first?
You go first, yeah.
I think for me, obviously for your listeners, they have a child in their life with additional needs in some way or another. I think it is really important for us to recognize that, yes, we are there for the child as well, but most importantly, we're also there for the carers, for their parents, because they are holding on to so much weight that you don't necessarily see, and they may not necessarily want to tell you about it or want to talk about it at all. So just being there, just showing up in those little moments, like my sister said, send a text message, or pick up the phone and call, or just rock up at the house. I think just being there or letting them know that you are there, and not having to burden them with them having to contact you or to reach out to you, just providing that safe space to know that you're always going to be in their what do you call it, in their circle,
Circle. Yeah.
in their circle, yeah,
Vicinity.
vicinity, yeah, like you're always going to be around is essentially what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say. Like, you're always there. They'll look to the left and you're there. They look to the right and you're there.
Yeah.
In a non-creepy way.
No, when they were younger, that was like annoying, get out of my face. But as adults, it's more like, I'm so glad that you're there. You're here for me.
Yeah. So just being that silent supporter there is really, really important, because they're harboring and holding so much that you don't know about, and you don't necessarily need to, but they just need to know that you'll always be there.
Beautiful. How about you, Valinda?
Look, I think from me, I think first and foremost is to be kind to yourself. If it is the first time that you're hearing a diagnosis, let yourself grieve. Let yourself feel all the feelings that you need to feel, because you need to go through the process. Find your community, find your people that you can talk to. Lean on them for support. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. There are more people going through this than you know. So it's just about finding your people. But yeah, definitely be kind to yourself. Reach out to people. You're not alone in this. And I think that's the most important. And I think, Rita, you're doing a phenomenal job in
Thank you, honey.
spreading this community far and wide. I didn't have this wine with Rita when, 6 years ago when Teddy was diagnosed. And I think if I knew of a podcast that was sharing stories or similar stories and similar journeys, I think it would have definitely brought a lot of comfort to me. So I think, you're doing God's work, really.
Thank you, honey.
Giving people an avenue to share their stories and make people feel heard and seen. So yeah, it's about reaching out. You're not alone. And ultimately. Be kind to yourself, advocate for your children, because they are looking up to you all the time.
My heart is so full. Thank you, ladies, for sharing your stories. I'm sure it will make listeners cry, laugh, and make them feel actually relatable and seen. So thank you. Before I finish up, I would love to know, what word, Valinda, will you apply to yourself today to make you a better version of yourself tomorrow? Firstly, I'm shocked that you're shocked about this, because it's a question I ask all my listeners. So it makes me think you haven't listened to any episodes to know this is a question I ask everyone. So you shouldn't
Look,
be
I'll be
shocked.
completely honest. I listened to the beginning and I never finished podcasts. I don't know whether that's my undiagnosed
ADHD, right now.
by the way. Don't tell
Oh,
me
look,
that.
I've got that too, 100%.
I think for me, definitely being self-aware. I like to take on more things that I can chew sometimes. Most of the time, let's be honest. So knowing when to stop, knowing what my boundaries are, knowing when I'm about to be burnt out. So I think just knowing that for myself before getting to that point.
Self-awareness. Love that.
Yeah.
So important for everyone.
Mhm.
Anita, what word will you apply to yourself tomorrow? Sorry, what word would you apply to yourself today to make yourself a better version of yourself tomorrow?
The first word, when you asked my sister this question, like the one word popped straight into my mind, and I'm still trying to understand why, but I'm going to say it even though I don't, because it obviously means something. But grace came into my mind. Giving
You
myself
embody that. You embody grace. You are grace.
what's that? She's grace. She is that Miss Congeniality. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
Isn't it? She's a super freak. What's that song? Oh, that's a different song. Sorry. You know that she's a
She's
very
oh,
funky girl. No.
super freak. Yeah, no.
She's a
Mother.
super freak. Super
She's a
freak.
super freak.
Super freaky.
That wasn't Grace, Anita. I don't know where that came from.
No. Oh, it's Miss Congeniality. Sandra Bullock saying she's beauty, she's grace. You know, it's a whole Miss
Yes.
Universe thing.
Yes.
But no, the word grace is more about giving yourself grace for, the way you may have behaved today, or if the way that you behave tomorrow, because you're still doing the best that you can. But not only giving yourself grace, but giving other people grace as well, because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know, what's on their mind either. So being able to live every day with grace, not only for yourself but for everybody else, I think makes for the whole world a better place, not just yourself.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Now, before I finish up, I want to actually mention anyone that has recalled the Autism Expo in 2026. It was a great event. I was the host, but can I just say the event wouldn't have been successful if it wasn't for Anita. Anita was the backbone, alongside with Jolene George, to create such a phenomenal event filled with advocacy, community, and empowering parents to feel seen, heard, and a place of belonging. As a speechie, I was so privileged to be the host this year. And as I say, I've said to a few people that I felt alive and aligned in that moment. And look how my hands come together. It was like I was praising God for that moment. And Anita, as a speech pathologist, to see the work you've done for the autistic community, it absolutely warms my heart. So anyone listening and is looking for an event planner or someone to bring an idea together for not a presentation, but more an event, Anita's your lady. I've worked alongside her and I sing praises of her always. And I hope that I get to work with you next year at the Autism Expo for 2027. So I'll put her details in the show notes and all the Instagram collaboration stuff. Her link will be there, but you're an amazing, graceful woman. So thank you for being there at the Autism Expo. But to the both of you, thank you for sharing your story and vulnerability on Wine with Weeda. And for everyone else, another episode will be brought to your ears really soon. Take care, everyone. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Wine with Weeda. I hope you found some new inspiration, learnt something new, or gained a fresh perspective. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you please leave a 5-star review, as it really helps the show get in the ears of new listeners, plus it takes 5 seconds. If you're keen for more strategies and insights, then head over to Instagram and follow RS Speech Pathology.